All right, welcome everyone. I'm so happy that you made it here. And I also want to say that no matter if this is live here on Facebook or on Zoom, or if you got this video sent to you through YouTube or anywhere else, if you're not already in the Facebook group, Fast Flow for Freedom, I highly recommend that you get in as soon as possible, since there will be complementary information that you might need to feel like you can take a well-educated decision for yourself that will transform your whole life. So get your pen and paper if you haven't already, so you can write down questions or some key pointers that you really want to take with you today. I'll present to you the legacy business model. So you can see how to create freedom of location, time, and finances past your lifetime by solving one of the biggest issues of our time. So who am I? I'm Claudia Freedom. And at this time of my life, I'm a happy, spiritual businesswoman serving the world in the best way I know of. I've been spending this last week on carefully upgrading myself and my own mindset and moving through all kinds of emotions, like going through memories of my life before aligning with this business, to emotions of feeling so happy and proud of myself for shifting my world around and feeling like, yes, I made it. I found the right thing and I did what was necessary to create a life on my terms. And now I'm taking my time to up-level myself in a way so that I can present this to you and pass it forward. But this didn't happen overnight. I had to level up in many areas and create a new me that was more open for something greater than I knew of. So to give you a bit of my background story, I used to feel unfit for a normal job. And believe me, this is not your ordinary job that I will show you today. I used to be deeply into the spiritual field, working with healing and shamanism, and I still walk the path of the shaman today. But my whole adult life, I was struggling with my energy levels, suffering from depressions, hypomanic episodes, sleeping way too much due to chronic fatigue, or not at all due to insomnia. My life was a roller coaster, so surely I could not have a regular job. I could not work more than 2 to 3 days in a week anyway, or I'd get straight out burnt out. So I had to find creative ideas. And working as a tattoo artist paid my bills somewhat, and also playing music as a DJ, which was super fun, but it surely did not pay my bills. On top of that, I was filled with judgment towards people who had a lot of money or was walking around in suits or owning fancy things. So as you can hear, I had a lot of blocks around money, probably because it was such a pain point for me since I had a hard time saving anything. So I couldn't afford much. And I had to live on a low budget most of the time. And also because everyone else in my surrounding did. It was my reality living in the spiritual community and the limiting belief that we should not earn money by doing something good. But doesn't that really create some kind of subconscious program or belief that it's okay to earn money by doing something less good? Right? So this belief, I realized it's beautiful in its core, but we need to watch closely so we don't let it block us from receiving all of the blessings coming our way as freely as we give to others. I believe for us collectively, we should start seeing money as a tool to create with or exchange value. And the intention behind it is what truly gives it value. I believe most, if not all of us in here, would love to create something beautiful if we had an extra 5 to 50K or more coming in each month, or if we had $1 million in our accounts. So this is what I'll be showing you today, how you can make that happen for you, no matter what your life situation looks like today. So make sure to stay here until the end. So imagine for a moment what you could do with that extra abundance. Do you want to create a holistic health center of some sort, or an eco-village, or would you like to buy your dream house or travel around the world, or just create a safe and stable life for yourself and maybe for your loved ones as well, where you never need to worry about money ever again? And for that sake, not needing to compromise with your values or becoming someone or something that you're not. You can be your authentic self and make this happen. So this is why I will share my true story with you. In my experience, I believe money can be deeply spiritual or good, or whatever you want to call it, if spent and used in that way, or earned as well. So most of us learn to blame money for the problems we see in the world. But as I grew up and started to learn more ways of thinking, I realized that it's usually the lack of money that causes the pain and suffering and arguments between people. Also, most people have to build their lives from the ground up with like no buffer or passive income, just like I had to, which usually cause a lot of stress in people, especially if they want to build a family or realize bigger projects. Lack and scarcity creates a lot of stress and misery and exhaustion. That was definitely one of the things that hurt the most for me in the past in ways. So I will share with you how in 4 years, I have had a total transformation on all levels with only 3 years active in this business. And I am really happy that I followed the nudge or the call to jump into this and serve. So a little bit more about my background, but I will not go into the big sob story of my previous life. But I feel like I have to give you an idea to how much this has helped me to create a life I love and gotten out of a life that was very challenging. I need to give you some of it, and I'll do my best not to get too emotional, okay? And I'll try to sum it up and not go into it too deep. But okay, 4 years ago, I was presented to this opportunity. My mind was blown away, and I decided that this was for me. I could truly feel the nudge and the call to move forward. But my mindset wasn't as cultivated as it is today. So instead of going for it directly, I decided to invest the money I had in a crypto company, promising a lot, so that I would be able to invest in this later. That was my plan. I was promised a high ROI, return on investment, in just investing and doing nothing. And I also invited my friends and family into it. It was a so-called get rich quick thing that was new on the market. So I had started searching for things where I could crack the money game with my previous partner bit by bit. So, but yeah, I wasn't really grounded in all of that, and I didn't do enough of due diligence. So the company I was investing in wasn't stable. So I lost all of my money as it crashed, like a year later. It was kind of like a fatal blow on my finances. Well, I had enough money. I had a lot of money, but in the crypto wallet from where I couldn't get it out, zero. So even if I've learned a bit when it comes to business, doing this through that time, I must say that it was not worth it. So after that, I've done diligent research on all of the opportunities presented to me along the way. And my partner at the time was diving into it even more thoroughly. But yeah, life felt really, really hard. And I even lost my partner, or we lost each other in this crash in the end due to too much stress. So needless to say, I was a wreck at this time. And I'm not saying this to make you feel sorry for me, okay? This is rather to show you that I'm just a normal, regular person, just like you, who has been through stuff. I also didn't have the best foundation to build on. Not at all, actually. I just wanted to have a good life. I wanted to have a better life, my life back. So I promised myself that I'd never let something like this happen ever again. Because lack of money, like tearing apart so much, I did not want it to be an obstacle for anything, or like a future loved one or a present one ever again. Instead, I wanted to be able to realize all the dreams I'm carrying in my heart and mind. So I had crashed financially, right? And like for many, that took a great toll on my mental health. Because I was struggling with my mental health for years, my whole grown-up life. So now I was in a position where I couldn't buy good food. I couldn't even buy food at all, basically. Me and my previous partner, we went dumpster diving every week to make it work. And I did my very best to take on some tattoo projects so that I could afford rent, which isn't easy when high stress and anxiety was a common struggle. Sleep was disturbed a lot. So I started facing a lot of health issues. But that was 3 years ago when it crashed. And I was asked again to start. But there was just no way. So I was at the bottom when my friend called me and asked me if I was ready to invest. And I was so heartbroken when I told her that I had lost everything. I felt so stupid that I had fallen for a get-rich-quick crypto scheme. There was just no way for me to start with what I truly wanted to do. No money. But thanks to the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I don't know if you've read it. If you haven't, you definitely should, or listen to the audiobook. It's amazing. It's by Robert Kiyosaki. Thanks to this book, I started to think differently. And instead of saying, I can't, I started to think about, how can I? Finding creative ways that would allow me to create a way out of no way. So you see me in the pictures here. One at my all-time low, saying enough, let's flip the script. And next to it, a year in, starting to feel stronger and more confident on the way of getting unemployable. And in the picture to the down right, you see me a couple of months ago on my balcony in Mexico, where I currently live, although I'm in Sweden right now, visiting friends and family. So I came up with a way to get in and start. But yeah, how until this day, I still wish that I had started with this when I first heard of it. When Sana Shulander presented it to me, it would have saved me so much time and unnecessary pain. But thankfully, she was there through thick and thin, and you'll be seeing her here in the group as well. She's one of the experts when it comes to the more nerdy things in this community of heart-centered individuals, all doing their parts, and I'll talk more about that later. I actually had 3 different people sharing this opportunity with me at the time, and I had to really feel into who to choose, which person to choose, and who I felt most aligned with. And on top of that, who I felt would be that support that I needed, someone who wasn't gonna just stop in a few months. And I felt like Sana was in it for the long run. And believe me, so was I when I saw this. It was my golden ticket to freedom. And she was kind enough to let me open this space for now with this new material that I've been building. So when Sana first showed this to me 1 year earlier, I understood that this was really good, but I didn't understand what I understand today. And I don't expect that you will understand everything straight away either. So please make sure to go through this webinar or masterclass a couple of more times and also see different angles to it, because when it finally clicked for me, I just wanted to show the whole world. I felt like I found the greatest business model in the world, and I still do, to create real freedom, impact, and legacy beyond our lifetime. So in the beginning, I told you that this is a way to create freedom of location, time, and finances. So here you can see me and Jonathan, who's now one of my closest friends, my previous partner. We actually managed to get back together again after that big crash. And since I wanted to create a way for both me and him to be able to relax into our love and different purposes, I gave this my all to truly make something out of this opportunity that was shown to me. My dream was to be able to build my foundation for both of us to stand on and travel around or move to a warmer country. It was always my dream to move from Sweden to a warm place. But due to a lot of internal stress and the hardships we were facing, a lot was lost along the way. And we decided to move separate ways, because he wanted to see me fly, even if I was willing to give it more time so that we could fly together. And this was 1.5 years into my business that I was ready to fly. So imagine going from broke to flying away in less than 2 years is incredible. Like that feeling, it's really hard to explain. So even if losing him has been one of the hardest things for me, since he was always my reason to keep on going, but I had to make it on my own now, and I decided that it would be a much greater idea to continue following my dream, even if it was by myself. And I'm really happy that I did, because it feels so wonderful to have summer all year round living in paradise, and to just disconnect that dream of building a solid foundation for me and him to build a solid foundation for me, and to create space for another someone that hopefully will never need to worry ever again, because the foundation would already be taken care of by me and what I'm building right now. And I know many people who have children, for example, they feel this exact same way. When we truly love someone, we want them to be happy. And he wanted me to be happy, so he let me go. And I flew to Mexico and started building my new life in paradise. Yeah, you actually see him and me on the picture in the left corner. It's the day before I jump on the flight. We had both been making a tattoo on one another as a symbol of our connection. I think that's very sweet. And here you have some pictures of my new life and just enjoying. I can't, it sometimes feels unreal that I have these beautiful sunrises and such a beautiful like home to live in, being on the beach, like clear blue ocean and white sand is just like, wow. And that I can actually stay there. And I also have so much time to and possibilities to do the things that I love, because I've freed up a lot of my time lately. And just being able to do things that I love, like spinning fire or taking care of my body, going to the gym, stretch, be at like beautiful cenotes in the nature, and connect to myself and to other people who are like-minded. To meditate, to go on ceremonies, to heal deeply. So how is this possible? I need to show you something. I want to show you something that made me think. And we all know when we're kids or growing up and we're choosing what school or high school to go to, people always ask us like, what do you want to do for a living? What do you want to be, right? But nobody really asks us in what part of the cash flow quadrant we want to operate it. Many don't even know what it is. I didn't until I was 35. So the main important thing to know about this is that on the left side of this cash flow quadrant, we have 90% of all of the population, but we only have 5% of the wealth. And on the other side, on the right side, we have only 5% of the people, but a staggering 95% of the wealth. Makes you question, like, what side do I want to be on, right? So the cash flow quadrant is a concept popularized by Robert Kiyosaki in his book, Rich Dad's Cash Flow Quadrant. It's categorized individuals into these 4 different quadrants based on how they earn their income. So these are as follows. Number 1, up to the left, employee. People in this quadrant earn money by working for someone else as employees. They trade their time and skills for a fixed salary or hourly wage. While being an employee provides stability and certain benefits, it also limits their potential for wealth and financial freedom as they are trading time for money. So there's a big cap. And then we have self-employed. So these individuals are those who work for themselves, typically as freelancers, consultants, coaches, or small business owners. They have more control over the work, but they are often tied to their businesses. The success and income in this quadrant are directly tied to their own efforts and time invested, which can limit scalability and freedom. Then we have, on the right side, we have business owners. Business owners are individuals who have built systems and processes that allow their businesses to generate income with minimal day-to-day involvement from the owner. The business can function independently and generate income even when the owner is not directly present. This quadrant offers more scalability and potential for wealth creation. The biggest difference between a business owner and an individual who is self-employed is that the business owner has systems and people that operate without their involvement necessary or needed, which actually applies to this business model with a functioning funnel system and automation with real people actually closing the deals for us 24/7. And we have really great webinars and platforms, etc., that we can plug into. Whereas self-employed people actually work more hours and are responsible for more things, like wearing all of the hats, playing all the roles. And technically, like, their business owns them. They don't own the business. And it's basically a trap, because if you work 12 hours a day to support your small business as a self-employed, with all of the expenses that comes with it, when do you have time to break out of that business to start a real business? Most people are actually so caught up in it that they have just enough time to eat and sleep and then right back at it. It's a true hamster wheel. If this is you, please write relate in the comments. And then we have investors. Investors are people who use their money to make more money. They invest in various assets, such as stocks, real estate, systems, knowledge, and businesses. Their money starts working for them, and they receive passive income without active involvement in their day-to-day operations. So this quadrant represents the highest level of financial freedom and wealth potential. And the most successful people use their money to invest in businesses and systems, and then the other way around to accumulate more assets. This is where we move in later on in this business, when we start earning passive income and legacy income for future generations. So if you don't own any assets yet, I will show you a great option for your first one. And also, you create opportunities for impact. Like, successful businesses and investment can create jobs, contributing to others, contributing to the economy, and offers opportunities to positively impact others, other people's lives, and or the environment. So in order to start living your freedom lifestyle, you need to start transitioning from the left side to the right side, and you can start part-time. It's actually recommended. But look, okay, but if 90% of all people are on the left side, earning 5% of the money, and 5% of all of the people on the right side earn 95% of all the money, what does that really mean? Does that mean that it's a mirror opposite? I would say so, yeah. So does that make sense that if this is a mirrored opposite, that something must also be a mirrored opposite with these individuals? Yes. And that mirrored opposite is their mindset. People on the left side are usually negative. They're complaining. Life is always happening to them. And on the right side, people are more open-minded and positive. Even when things go bad, like maybe they missed the bus or have a flat tire, like, instead of letting that get a hold of them, they just let it go and say, at least I didn't crash the car or something. It could be much worse. So people on the left side are closed-minded. They are all smarter than you, and they know everything, and yet their lives are pretty messed up, or at most ordinary. People on the right side are humble and know, I have a lot to learn, and I'm open-minded to new ideas, new suggestions, different ways of earning income, different ways of having an online business, different ways of living my life. I don't know everything, and I'm open to learning. Does that make sense to you? So people on the left side are focused on all of their problems and all the reasons of why they can't do something, whilst people on the right hand are focused on the solutions People on the left side get easily distracted, go onto Netflix or go for cute cat videos and have no real direction.
And believe me, I get stuck there sometimes still.
People on the right side stay focused, lock in on a vision, lock in on a goal, let go of the rest, and actually make things happen all of the way to completion. People to the left listen to the wrong people. They ask like their mom or dad or spouse, maybe their uncle or their boss at the work, what they should do with their life. They ask if they think a business idea would be a good idea, although they have no experience whatsoever, or they don't have the result that they want or the life that they want. So they are technically listening to the wrong person because they love them or respect them, but they don't have the results that you want, right? Do they? People to the right side listen to people with results, to people who have the lifestyle, the success, the marriage, the fitness, whatever it might be that you desire or they desire. They only listen to people who have results, who walk the talk. And not least, the people on the left are always waiting, never taking action. After I get this, when this happens, after the holidays, etc. Their whole life, they are just waiting around it instead of taking action. Whilst people on the right side always take action, always moving the needle forward and know that time is precious. They take action before they are ready. They take messy, imperfect actions and learn from that. The people on the left, as I said, they have the I can't attitude because, oh, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, because I don't know how, because I have kids, or because I'm scared of the internet, or whatever reason. The people on the right, they simply stop, pause, and go, okay, how can I? How can I make this work? How can I come up with the money? How can I borrow the money or apply for a credit card or a loan for the money? How can I make the time? And then eliminate certain things that are distracting, that are taking up all of my time. How can I learn? How can I surround myself with people who can hold me accountable and actually support me in learning these things? I can't versus how can I? Do you see the difference? Where do you think that you are most of the time on this spectrum? Do you think that you are more negative than positive most of the time? Feel free to comment in the chat. I would love to hear it. Go through these points one after the other and try to figure out what percentage you are on the left and right. Is it like 80-20, 70-30, or maybe 50-50? Or are you already more on the right side? Then you're probably already invested in what I'm about to show you. If not, you will love it. You're in here in this group of heart-centered leaders. Most of you simply don't know that there's a way better way to live and to deliver value to people and earn a living that's way more than basic salary or what we are usually being taught. And that's okay. It's designed that way. But I'm here to help balance the scales. So, yeah. So I will show you a little bit more when it comes to this business opportunity that I'm gonna show you and what makes it so special. And I'll also let my mentor explain more in detail soon for you, because I personally follow people who have the results and who has the life that I want to have. So a comparison. If you check on this comparison, you see a lot of different ways to earn an income, right? Most people are here to the right at 9 to 5. which has its positive sides with like more security, maybe low startup cost, no overhead, and so forth. But if you look at all of these other things, we have, for example, network marketing or MLMs, which is a really great way of breaking free from this system or matrix that we are locked into. But this is not it. It's pretty similar, but it has some other things on top of that, which makes all of the difference. You also see like affiliate marketing, direct sales, e-commerce, freelance, and a franchise. This legacy business model is like, it's like you take the best things out of all of these things and you have a complete business model. It's like the best thing I've ever seen. And step 3, you start replacing your job income with leveraged income and even passive income. And then step 4, you can buy all of your time or life back and scale your income. And then you're free to live your freedom lifestyle on your term. So many of us have a hard time with authority and getting told like what to do. I do too. I want to be the one deciding over my life. Before this, I also tried like different ways of sales, like selling smartphones door to door and low ticket health products like CBD oils, etc. I realized though that the more I can serve, the more money I can make instead of just trading my time for money. But the downside was that it was low ticket. So it still didn't make me a lot of money. After this presentation, you will not look at life the same way ever again. I can promise you that. So what makes this special? Like this is a safe, stable company of 50 years, almost next year. It's here to stay. It's top quality products that people want, need, and use every day. Things that really work, because if they wouldn't, people wouldn't be successful in this. They also pay out high ticket commission. This is in euro, 280 to 2,280 euros per sold unit, and up to 6,000 euros for packages. You will see it in more details later. I will let my mentor Balazs explain it for you, but he will go through it in dollars. So just know that the prices and the compensation differs a little bit from all over the world. But there are also lifetime monthly bonuses that can be inherent by family or your spouse of our team leaders that are assisting others to succeed. There are team strategies to maximize growth. And yeah, this is not your regular like MLM, or like it has no pyramid structure. But more on that soon. So I was telling you that we're solving one of the biggest issues in today's world. So yeah, been talking about money. Sure, financial struggles are hard, but do you know what can be even harder? Or even be in the way of creating a better financial situation in the first place? Yes, like health issues, stress, emotional and mental challenges. How many of you experience some kind of health issue or discomfort that maybe you don't even really like to talk about? Like we assume many people are healthy because most people hide in the best they can. We see like stomach issues, for example, pretty embarrassing for people to talk about, or shame around mental health issues. There's a lot of stigma around it that I've been fighting myself. For example, PMS for us women, seen as something every woman suffers from, as normal. So most people have some kind of health problem that they usually don't talk about, or they just see it as normal because they've had it for so long. As for me, with my chronic fatigue, I mean, I was health conscious, doing everything that I could to assist myself, working on all levels, like mental, spiritual, physical level. But I was still having problems. And then I found this solution that I will go into deeper really soon. And it actually eliminated all of my problems and gave me the energy I needed to self-regulate and to be able to recover better, like after working out, fixing my soreness in the body I had from carrying so much stress and inflammation in my muscles. My PMS is gone as well, even if it took time. And on top of that, it feels like I regained a lot of vitality and haven't really aged since I started. I even look younger than when I started because my skin is better and my energy levels heightened so much. And there's more to this issue. And if you haven't already figured out what I'm going to talk about, we see a lot of environmental problems and challenges. I'll give you a hint on the pictures here. Things that we see in the world but wish we didn't have to, right? I'm going to talk about the living element, water, because all life on this planet is depending on that our water is of high quality. And we have all witnessed what happens when it's not. This is an urgent problem that we can't ignore anymore. We have a solution in a technology based on conditions that exist naturally here on Earth. So some of the challenges we all face is like obesity is on the rise. We see 69% overweight or obese, 36% obese in the United States. And we also see similar numbers for Canada, Australia, and other places in the world. Food and soil quality is at a time low. We see chemicals in our food at an all-time high. And there's more pollutions in our air, our food and water. And more people, more young people suffering and even dying from preventable illnesses. So what you will learn here today is around 70% of the health puzzle. So please don't take this lightly. Because the difference between the healthiest person and the sickest person can be broken into two parts. Muscles, ligaments, bones, organs, tissues, etc. Those all add up to around 30% of the person. And most people focus on only these 30%, which of course is important, but it's the smaller piece of the puzzle. The other 70% or more, depending on the individual, of everyone is just water, but not all water is equal. So the problem we see is, to start with, it's dehydration. Like 75% of the population or more are chronically dehydrated. And what effects does that have on the body? This is just a few, like a small selection. Like poor temperature regulation is in the brain, like getting brain fog and hard time focusing, for example. And the supply of nutrients to cells decrease. It stresses the heart, thickens the blood that's supposed to transport all of the nutrients. So the function of the kidneys decrease as well, which makes residues and toxins and acidic waste more likely to remain in the body. We see limitations in energy production, muscle cramps, poor sleep, and dehydration is also a known factor in dementia, and proper hydration may help reduce the risk of Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and ALS, to name a few. Most people suffer from one or more of these things. Very few have the right amount of hydration in the body. A second big problem we see is acidosis. The pH of the blood never strays from 7.35 to 7.45, or death occurs. So the body will defend this pH range at all costs, at the expense of tissues, bones, organs, etc. So symptoms of acidosis include heartburn, acid reflux, skin problems, joint inflammation, and many, many more. Be sure to go through more information around all of these issues in the other video that will be given to you in here tomorrow. We also see inflammation. So this is actually the body's attempt to self-protection. And it becomes chronic if the internal environment cannot flush it away. And chronic inflammation can eventually cause several diseases and conditions, including some cancers, diabetes, arthritis, Alzheimer's again, and cardiovascular diseases. And we see mental health issues due to inflammation in the brain. So my brain was literally burning when I suffered the most. My head was so hot. Yeah, it was crazy. The right kind of hydration helps regulate the temperature and heal the inflammation. So we need to drink more water. But what do we have in the water? The tap water, for example. Oh my God, it's just so many things in it that we do not want to put in our bodies. Chloride that destroys metabolism and gut bacteria, lye. This is added to the water just to, like, for the pipes not to rust even more. And it also gives a false pH. We have pesticides, herbicides. These chemicals or toxins are there to take the life force of plants and microorganisms, which leads the water to become what we call dead water. It means it has a lack of charge. We have microplastics, heavy metals, fluoride, PFAS, which is a so-called forever chemical. We have hormones, drugs, vaccines, like 20,000 to 100,000 chemicals that go into the tap water after it's been treated in the treatment plant. So, and also over 200 chemicals unregulated in 45 states. So people with authorities, scientists, etc., are actually fighting for better tap water, but it is a political issue and a very costly one. And sure, filtered water is better, but there are so much more than toxins to take into account, and we'll get into that. Because it's so hard for the body to absorb it, even if it's filtered, due to its damaged structure and lack of charge. And in our attempt to solve the water issue, we have been drinking bottled, filtered water instead, which of course is better than tap water, but is it really that good? It's loaded with plastics and hormones. It's actually an environmental nightmare because of the 50 billion plastic bottles produced each year. Oh my God, most of it end up in landfills. But even when we bottle up good quality spring water or mountain water, it is transported a long way. It might sit out in the sun, get very heated and destroyed, bakes in the chemicals, in the plastics, into the water. It loses all of its vitality up until it gets its way to you. So we've tried to cope with this acute issue with water, with turning to bottled water for way too long already, and it's a nightmare. The plastics get burned all over the world to create heat or to just get rid of the waste, causing it to go straight into our air that we breathe and then rain back onto our soil and end up in our groundwater or wells and springs, even up on our mountaintops. This has to stop. And also, like, regular water cannot solve our issues. Like I was talking about, chronic dehydration, acidosis, inflammation. When I went back to Mexico for the second time, I was actually 6 weeks on bottled water because I could not use the right kind of water, which made me experience that I got my mental health issues back. I started losing control over my emotions and a little bit over my actions. So no, thank you. So who wants to see the solution to this madness? Put a yes in the comments if you are ready. Okay, let's solve this puzzle, shall we? I'll break it down for you as quick as I can. Remember, more information will be given to you. So the solution that we have found is hydrogen-rich electrolyzed reduced water. It's Enagic's Kangen water. So before I continue, I want to highlight something that is really, really important for you who are hearing about this and discovered this for the first time. When you do scientific studies on anything, you cannot do a scientific study on a manufacturer or a brand, okay? You have to do a study on the scientific terminology for that specific thing. So all the research that you can find, which there's a lot of, that supports the validity of the science behind this product, behind this water, is all based around hydrogen-rich electrolyzed reduced water. That's the official name for it, and also called ERW, shortened. But the company that makes this technology, these machines, is called Enagic. And I'm going to talk about Enagic in a moment and break down why they are literally the best and leading in the space. And then Kangen water, which is the brand name, which actually stand for return to origin in Japanese. All right. So it's very important to distinguish between the terminologies because sometimes people will do research or try to do their due diligence, which is totally fine, but then they're searching the wrong thing and they're getting the wrong info and then make up their minds with the wrong decision instead of an educated decision. All right. So I just want to make sure that's clear. If you want to find studies on this kind of water, you don't search for Kangen water since this is just a trademark. The real scientific term is ERW, electrolyte reduced water. And there's hundreds and hundreds of studies on it. Same goes for molecular hydrogen. So if you want proof, there's a lot. Me personally have gathered a lot of clinical studies over the years, and have a big PDF with doctors and scientists and athletes who give their take on it from using it themselves and giving it to patients, athletes, and others. And Sana, who I mentioned before, who's our health nerd, has also made some really great recorded webinars for you to enjoy here in the group. It will be posted later today or tomorrow, depending on where you are in the world. Also, I'll link you to some of my favorite doctors here in the comments or description, so you can see more deeply without me just repeating what they say. It's better you hear it from them, the experts. And I'm working, as you may understand, for time freedom. So my job is to guide you in the right direction and lead by example. I've already done my diligent research. And as I said in the beginning, I'm careful who I listen to. I don't listen to people who are just trying to push a product. I listen to the people who have results, to experts in the holistic health field where true health has been established and proven. So, Kangen water. Remember the three main issues I talked about with dehydration, acidosis, and inflammation. This water has three amazing features that benefits benefits to it that literally counteract the three major problems that we experience with our health and bodies. Actually more, but I want to take the main things for now and we'll deep dive in another session, okay? So this machine and this water provides you with antioxidation, alkalization, and absorption, all right? And it is not alkaline water. That's a totally different thing that gets easily mixed up, where pH is manipulated instead of created in the same way as nature does, like here. These machines mimic the natural conditions found by the most vitalizing springs in the world as they were found to be over 50 years ago. So Japanese scientists started to analyze these properties and they created these amazing machines. So, and the company itself, this is very important when you want to plant your flag, when you want to build a legacy business. Why many of you are here today. Like, who's the company? Who are we actually partnering with? Why can this be something I can will to my children or spouse and feel comfortable that it's going to be around for a long time? This company is 49 years old, celebrating their 50-year anniversary next year. And I personally am going to be here my whole life. And that's no exaggeration. I'm not going to leave. I'm not going to stop. This is definitely my thing. Because what this did for me with my health and the health of those around me, with how I function in the world, for waking up stable and being able to handle all of my emotions and life challenges, being able to perform at a way higher level in regards to both my workout and work life, what it has done for me in terms of my lifestyle, my wealth creation, and my impact on all of you and so many others. Yeah, forever grateful. Another thing that's important to know about this company is that they don't sell out. They don't mess around with the quality. They are an original equipment manufacturer in a medical facility, the highest of the high standards. They produce all of their own products. All of the machines are hand assembled by a professional technician, like a Rolls-Royce vehicle would be. And then it's tested thoroughly and shipped out to you. Whew. On top of that, last year in 2022, they did over $1 billion in sales. So it's not a startup company of any sort. It's not something that we're still trying to like prove or figure out if it's a good thing. No. This is way past that. People who drink this water all over the world can attest. We absolutely love our health insurance. They are number one in the entire water ionization industry. They control about 80% of the market share. And then, then we have the other 20% that some of them are actually trying to convince people to buy their non-certified product and saying things that are just not true many times. And if we do our research on different health issues and dive deep into it and start listening to doctors, neuropaths, and so on, that's on top of their game, like not necessarily talking about normal doctors who often overlook this fact because they're not educated so much in health, rather on sickness. But talking about experts in their fields, they are all talking about the importance of the quality water we drink and how much water we drink, and that not all water is equal. So sometimes when we go out to search the internet, we can find websites that are actually talking down on Enagic, saying it's overpriced or a scam or whatever. Sometimes pretty negative stuff. And then at the bottom of it, or even clearly, they are trying to sell their own machine for like $1,000 less or two. But some people are smart in that way and wonder, why someone would build a whole website bashing on this company and then trying to sell your own stuff at the bottom. Yeah, probably to just try to sell an inferior product, right? You only compare yourself to the industry leader. You only compare yourself to the best, right? Because if you were the best, you wouldn't have to talk down on anybody else. I'm so happy that I was shown this at the very start. Many people buy into this aggressive and many times disappointing sales strategy and marketing done by others. And I've actually seen examples where people have bought like cheaper models to save $1,000 or something, hoping to see their problems go away. But it just doesn't solve it. A friend with the IBS, for example, who tried the Kangen water and felt the positive effects and didn't suffer any issues while drinking it, decided to buy a cheaper brand. That's okay, of course. Go ahead. But the thing is, her IBS was not treated with it. The problems were still there. And on top of that, it also broke 6 months later, and she had a really hard time getting a new one. When she finally did, well, it was still not solving the problems she bought it for. So it was basically a lot of money for like a water filter or another ionizer said to create Kangen water. So they used some like the reputable things about this company to try to sell an inferior product that doesn't have the ISOs or the golden standard held by Enagic. So invest in the real deal. Enagic also have other models that costs less than the one most people desire and choose. Like the K8, for example, that I will show you soon. But there are other options, all with the same level of quality and medical grade. So another great thing with Enagic is that they are a global business with offices all over the world, which is great for being able to do this anywhere in the world with anyone, no matter where they are located. With offices all over the world, there's no limitations because there's 8 billion people that we can help, and that's a lot of money. And even if you feel healthy, imagine helping others that hasn't been as fortunate as you. And Nagic is also a member of the Direct Selling Association, which is important as well. It's a credible organization where they make sure that we're operating with integrity, transparency, and all of those wonderful things that I, for myself, want to align myself with if I do business. It makes sure that it is fair and just. And Nagic also have numerous awards and certifications. So usually a water ionizer is not classified as a medical device, but these specific ones are. So these are the only, this is the only company that has the WQA Gold Seal and is the only one certified as a medical device in Japan. So our wonderful Sana will share another webinar with you later, depending, yeah. So, and she will go deeper into that specific thing and why it's so important to know and take into consideration. Because Nagic has the ISO 13485, which is a big deal, and it's hard to get. It's very hard to get. Although many do have the ISO 9001, which is a pretty easy one to get. But if a machine doesn't have that, I highly recommend that you stay away. Why? Yeah, so the thing is, I've actually been accused of selling products that cause heavy metal poisoning in people who drink it, to which I, in the beginning, thought was just people not knowing what they were talking about. But after researching it myself and listening to people like Dr. Corinne Allen, for example, I realized that this is actually a real danger with buying some cheaper products. So I say this not to talk down on any other specific brand, but to just give a heads up that quality truly matters. So, and on top of that, we actually get service on these machines every second year through our closest office. So we get them deep cleaned so that they will continue producing this vital and highly charged water year after year. We do have a lifetime service on them. So if anything would happen as well, so this is a lifetime investment for you. They also have like cleaning programs that is run through every second week to eliminate the mineral buildup, which prevents this ionizer to turn into just another water filter. Because if a water ionizer doesn't have a real cleaning program or just an automatic one with no citric acid, it will usually stop producing ionized water in a matter of months or up to a year. So these machines are often imitated, but never duplicated. And Nagic actually has three main products that we deal with and focus with. That solves a little bit of a different issue that we all need in our lives. So this is to deal with the root causes of illness so that we can be happy, fit, and most importantly, healthy. These are the three products, and we call them the trifecta when we use them together. And the Kangen K8 is what we use to almost everything in our day-to-day life, not only drinking, but cleaning, cooking, and even disinfecting, like eliminating a lot of chemicals in our household. the most used physical device or product that I own, and my most treasured and cherished belonging. The only other thing I maybe use as much is my smartphone. But this thing I use constantly and even bring it with me wherever I go if I leave my house more than 2 days. So just think about how much we use water in our lives. We use a lot of more water than we think. And if we use this machine for all of these reasons, we get way better benefits. And then there's another thing, right? We need to clean our bodies on the inside, on the outside as well, like shower or bathe. And I don't know about you, but I like to take a shower almost every day, especially if I'm cold, to warm myself up or freshen up if I'm hot. So the Anespa is like your own mineral bath in your home, like a mini spa. And the third product is a supplement called the Enagic Yukon. It's a turmeric supplement. And if you do your own research on curcumin or turmeric, it's literally one of nature's most prized antioxidants ever, with like 6,000 research studies on it. And the government even tried to make it into an over-counter prescription, but they declined it and said no, you cannot turn nature's gold into a pharmaceutical. Sorry, and got denied, thankfully. On top of that, it's packed with an array of vitamins like B complex, different essential oils, minerals, leaving this to be a really great and wholesome supplement. So used together, this creates like the holistic health package for you. So, so Enagix Kangen 8 or K8. This is a patented technology with 8 solid titanium plates dipped in platinum for strong ionization, which with a big surface area, which also matters a lot. With a worldwide power source, so you can connect it anywhere, even if you move around with it. Like for me, I travel the world with mine. It produces a pH range from 2.5 to 11.5 and 1 to 2 ppm hydrogen gas in a matter of seconds. It also produces an ORP up to -800. I will go through what that means shortly. It only weighs 5 kilos, so it's easy to move. And you just plug it into your tap. It has an inbuilt filter, but pre-filter systems are available so that you can custom make it to your area where you live and your desires of what quality water you want. It tells you when it's time to change the filter as well. It has a 5-year warranty and it uses a transformer. Here's some more techie stuff if you find this interesting. So titanium and platinum are, as you might know, both pretty expensive due to their ability to conduct energy without breaking. And this is, of course, reflected in the price. But well-maintained machines last for 20 or 30 plus years. Like Enagic CEO has had his for over 30 years and it still works perfectly. And he will not replace it to this newer model just because he wants to see how long this thing lasts. That's epic. And here you can see a little bit how the water moves through the machine. First through the filter, possibly an extra pre-filter, and then it moves through these, in between these plates, that charges the water. And then with magnetism, we're able to separate the Kangen, living water, and the acidic water. So we actually take the bad water out of the equation as well, the oxidizing and acidic water, and drink living water. So ORP. Many people talk about anti-aging and antioxidants, but do most of us really understand what the difference is between oxidizing foods and beverage and antioxidizing? How does it work and why? We can actually measure this antioxidating potential or reduction potential with the ORP scale. It's easily measured in millivolt with an ORP meter. And the crazy thing here is when people see this, and that when they're drinking tap water and they think they're doing the healthy thing, because like they're not drinking sodas or energy drinks and such, which is, well, it's technically right because it's better, but the ORP is actually so high on the oxidative side that it's still harming the cells and accelerate the aging process and the oxidation in the body. So depending on where we are in the world, we see tap water range from somewhere from like 300 up to, I see 570 in Mexico. Wild. And then we have bottled water. Like even like bottled water or reversed osmosis, distilled water, and so on. It's still on the right side of this equation. So even if it's cleaner, it's still oxidizing. And on the left side of this picture, you see the antioxidant things that we want to give to our bodies, like vitamin C's or green teas. But how much antioxidant potential it has really depends on what kind of water you brew your tea with as well, of course. And we have like omega-3 as well, is somewhere close to like 300 in negative value. But how much of that do we actually put in our bodies? Not much. And I want to talk about juices, for example, and fruits. Like many people do, for example, juice fasts and so on to give themselves this kind of living water. But the question remains how much you would have to drink to counteract all of the oxidation caused by the many stressors in the world, like toxic food, air, and water that we get in touch with, and all of the radiation and so forth. And how much would it cost to only drink freshly made organic juices to give the body the amount of hydration it needs? I calculated it roughly and saw that it would take a year, around a year, to come up to the same amount as what one of these machines costs. And on top of that, the effect is much faster with this water because we don't need to take the metabolism into account and nor the calories. And some other things that we can save on is, household savings. Like the average household can actually save like $50 to $200 per month by just learning to properly use the Kangen machine and to create a more toxic free environment in your house. So we see that this is an investment that will actually save you money in the long run. It's actually a true no-brainer when we understand the health benefits and how long these machines actually last. And moreover, it's like a quantum no-brainer, as Balazs says, when you see the compensation plan and understand how you can earn back your initial investment in a matter of a few recommendations to people. Or if you want to create financial abundance and freedom in your life, solving this super important issue. So I'm going to let my mentor Balazs break it down for you. So my mentor Balazs has been with this company as a customer for 15 years. And he is building it as a business for the last 10 years. Before that, he didn't truly understand the many benefits of it. So I want you to be sure, like, this guy, he does not need to be doing any of this anymore, but he's so passionate about assisting others to be able to create it for themselves as well, to pass it forward. And he's actually coming here to Sweden to celebrate with us and our team next month, because we've been the fastest growing team in Europe lately. Imagine that. I'll be able to meet him in person and give him a big hug after basically saving my life. He's been a great source of inspiration, like unlocking my mind, activating my heart, and his way of being super direct and clear always touches me. And he's not sugarcoating it, and he's not holding back. Because just like me, he didn't understand all of this when first buying his own machine. It took him years, but here you go. Let's go to the right side of living with the legacy business model and create the freedom that we crave.
So let's talk about some other challenges first. We already established we have a lot of problems in society when it comes to health and wellness and the way that the world is going with the government stuff and the chemical stuff and all that, right? But we face just as many issues, if not more issues, on the financial side of our lives. You know, the ability to feel like we're on this never-ending hamster wheel. So what do you look for in an opportunity? So now we basically determined the four sides of the quadrant, all right? Now you're probably thinking, all right, maybe I'm on the left-hand side of the quadrant and I need to find a way to build a bridge, all right, to get me from where I am right now to ultimately where I want to be. Now, the bridge is the key, because if you're busy with your job, which all of you, I'm sure, have some form of income that you're committed to, right? That's just how it goes. You probably have a family. You might have some children. You're a busy person. You know, you don't have just like all this time and money necessarily sitting there waiting for this. So if you have this thought, okay, how do I build a bridge from the life that I have today to the life that I want to create? What am I going to look for in an opportunity? So one of the things that I've looked at is that people on the left-hand side are thinking in an old school way. They want to have a startup for their business, whereas people on the right-hand side would rather work with a well-established legacy company. The people on the left-hand side are thinking local. I live here in this town. How can I get a local business, job, self-employed gig? People on the right-hand side, global, thinking big. How can I make an impact? No restrictions, doesn't matter. People on the left-hand side, hands-on, right? They have the belief like, if I'm not doing it, no one can do it as good as me, and I got to do it, and no. So they're very much stuck in this limitation of their own capability. That's why a lot of people make the excuse, I don't have the experience, I don't have the skill, I don't know what to do. But it's too much I. You're missing the fact that there's a team element and support and community and all these other things that you could actually work with. So people on the right-hand side are focusing on automation and focusing on leverage. The left-hand side people are thinking, oh, I need customers. Let me go try to sell to my friends and family and hitting them up and trying to sell them shit, which, by the way, pop it in the chat if you absolutely do not want to do that and sell to your friends and family to make money. Who does not want to do that, right? Because nobody is excited for that. The only people who do that are the people who are willing to hustle, and they have that like, they're like, you know what, if that's what it's going to take, if I just have to ask every single person that I've ever met in my life to be successful and to create freedom for my family, fine. I'll do it. I don't want to do it. It doesn't feel good, but you know what? I'm not going to make excuses. I'm going to fucking do that. Right? That's why people do it, is because they're just like, I don't really know a better way. But what if you can do it based on attraction marketing? What if you could do it based on running ads and people put a hand up and say, I want to work with you. I want to know what you have. Now, if you think about how you got here to this presentation today, how did you get here? Did you see a post on Facebook? Did you put your hand up? Did you comment for more info? Did you see an ad? Did you see a link? Most likely, yes, unless it was some other established relationship where it made sense. But most of you saw it on social media. You were on there for a different reason. There was an ad or a post or something that had some copy, had some description, talking about what we're going to be sharing today. And you said, you know what? I want that. I want to go check it out. It's free. Let's see what it's about. And you commented and you reached out, and it was you took the first step. That's attraction marketing. Next piece here is like you feel like you're all alone. One of the biggest things about being successful is that when you first start, you feel lonely because no one else in your life typically has big goals and ambitions and aspirations like you do. So it feels very weird because you're going against the grain all of a sudden. You're like, fuck the 9 to 5, fuck the average life. I don't want this anymore. I want more. But everyone around you is like, I don't. It's all right. You know, you want to watch the game on the weekend, have a beer. They don't give a shit. So you're like, oh man, it's like it's pretty deflating. But on the right hand side with us, there's a supportive community. We're all in this together. We all have similar aspirations and goals and dreams. We support each other. We cheer each other on. We pick each other up if something goes sideways. If you need support, if you feel like you're stuck, you reach out to us. And within like minutes, there's like hundreds of people who are like, you got this. I've been through that. Here's what you can do. Here's the help. You want to hop on a call? Can I support you? It's incredible. It's so cool. And there's thousands of people all over the world who think this way and are super servant-based leaders to help you. It's unbelievable. All right. Let's talk about Enagic. Wow, that was quite the lead up, guys. And if you got to go, you can catch the replay. But anyways, let's talk about how we bring all of this together now and make boatloads of money, impacting people, changing people's lives, setting ourselves free. And once we're free, we pay it forward to those of you who aren't free yet. And that is the most fulfilling type of business because you literally are making an impact, and the more you help other people get what they want, you get what you want. I can't think of a better thing to dedicate my career to and my life to than this. Seriously, I mean that with all of my heart. So let's talk about Enagic for a second. It's a global offer, and you have lifetime distribution rights. Why is that important? Really simply, you invest in these products for your health, for your family, one time. And once you do that, the machine lasts 15, 20, 25, 30 years as an example. So that's a really, really good track record for any sort of technology in terms of longevity and value, right? But you also unlock the ability to have global distribution rights for life. So for the rest of your life, at any point, if you take a break, you come back, doesn't matter, you have this business forever. And once you build it to a big business, like many of you are going to, you can will it to your children, you can will it to whoever you want, you can put it in a trust. There's a lot of really cool things you can do as your income scales here. So this in and of itself, incredible. Next piece, zero attrition, permanent ranking. Now, this is in the network marketing profession and industry, but it's actually a direct sales company that has some benefits of the MLM model, even though it isn't that, just to clarify. And so why this is important is once you buy the product, you can never lose your rank. You can never lose your sales. You can never lose your efforts. You are permanently there, and you can only ever go up to the next level. You cannot go backwards, which means that some of you who may take a slower approach for whatever reason, not right or wrong, you just have a longer time horizon for getting success and getting results. You can take your time at your own pace. You never get penalized for going slowly. As long as you stay in the game, or as long as you come back to the game, you just continue where you left off. It's really, really powerful. No auto ship or additional cost to participate in the compensation plan. You buy the product, you're in, that's it, real simple. You can use other people's money to start your business. This is the only opportunity of its kind because it's a physical product. Now, depending on what country you live in, there's different criteria for getting financing from a bank or credit cards or those kinds of things. But in most cases, there's a creative way for you to get some form of financing, leveraging other people's money from a bank, whatever the case may be, or possibly borrowing it from family or friends if you need it to start. But you can leverage other people's money, make a boatload of money, and pay people back. It's amazing. There's also high ticket commissions in depth. So not only am I going to show you how you can make a huge sum of money, even if you didn't build a sales organization and it was just you, you're running this as an automated high ticket offer on the internet, you could make boatloads of money. But If you develop a business, which kind of happens automatically because people see the vision, they see the opportunity, they want to get their own little piece of it as well, you're going to get high ticket commissions based on their sales also. Now, my first experience with override commissions was when I did door-to-door sales. And what happened was we would sell internet and TV door to door, and we would get paid $30 for internet, $30 for TV. But the company, the owner, who was like my boss, he got paid $100 for each of those products. So he got 200 and he paid out 60. He had 140 left over, right? Pretty good for him. He didn't even have to knock the doors. And then he started paying me as a manager $5 off of each of my team sales. And then when I ran my own office, I got $15 on everybody's sales. So here I was sitting in my office and like building the sales team and bringing on new people. And they'd all go out there, 30, 40, 50 people at a time, make a bunch of sales, come back, and I'd be like $15, $15, $15, $15. I'd be like, whoa, like it was so hard for me to wrap my mind around this. I'm like, this is unbelievable. But I was being compensated based on the sales training I was teaching these people in the morning. They went out into the field, knocked the doors, made the sales, and I got compensated for that as a manager. Imagine that in the thousands of dollars. Imagine that where you bring on somebody in Australia, and you bring on someone in Germany, and you bring on someone in Los Angeles, and you bring on someone in Mexico, and they go build businesses, and you're getting checks for $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 around the planet from this opportunity. Just put your mindset to what that would look like and how that would change your life. All right. There's only 2 million machines sold so far in the world, which means next to no market penetration. And Enagic did $1 billion in sales in 2022 last year with a 20% year-over-year growth since COVID-19. Is that impressive or is that impressive? Remember, this is a hand-assembled medical device put together in a medical facility in Japan that was shipped all over the world, and we grew 20% year over year and did over $1 billion in sales last year. What? How good is that, right? So let's talk about the commission structure real fast. Are you guys getting value so far? Let me know in the comments right now. If you're getting value, if this makes sense, if you're learning something new, if you can see yourself absolutely doing this with us and crushing this, let me know in the comments, please. So I'm going to break this down. Sometimes it could be a little bit like confusing for people that are seeing it for the first time. So if it's a little bit confusing, that's okay. Don't worry about it. You can get back to the person that invited you on this call today, and they'll help you understand it, and they'll break it down and clarify it for you. All right. But I'm going to go over this fairly quickly just so you have an idea. It's an 8-point commission payout per product sold, and this particular compensation plan is patented. And how it works is every time there's a product sold, 8 equal commission checks get distributed and paid out. All right. So that's just for the K8 machine that we showed earlier. You would get $340 per point, and there's 8 points paid out. Now, if you're selling the trifecta package, which is actually the most common way people get started with Enagic, because all 3 of those products are necessary and they're amazing. And earlier, you all agreed that it was a no-brainer to have all 3 of them, right? So you put yes in the chat. So let's assume that everybody starts with the trifecta, including yourself. This is what the commissions would look like, is there would be 8 equal checks paid out in $1,110. Now, for those of you that are international, these are US dollar-based commissions, so they're actually more in places like Australia, certain parts of the world. The commissions are higher, it's just in the local currency, okay? So don't let that distract you. All of this stuff converts and is pretty much equal. It's just with the Forex currency exchange, they're slightly different numbers. So let's do this hypothetical example. And by the way, I got to have some of this. Oh, it's that 9.5, so good. All right, so let's say you get started with a single product and you make your first 2 sales, you're gonna get 1 point out of the 8 points. In this case, it's 340, right? Like someone said in the chat, it's 365 and other in Australia, whatever. It's not the point. The point is I want you to understand the power of this business model. So imagine you knew on day 1 when you would get a promotion. How many of you got a job in corporate America or a regular job, and on day 1, your boss told you, do this and you get promoted and you make this much more money. Do this and you get this much more money. That doesn't happen, right? There's politics, there's favoritism, there's all kinds of bullshit, and they drag it on and on and on and on and on before they ever give you a raise. And then when they do give you a raise, it's like some pathetic amount, like $1.50 or $2 an hour, and you're like, are you fucking kidding me? Right? Here on day 1, we actually tell you up front, you put in your first 2 sales, you get 1 point out of the 8. On your 3rd sale, you get 2 points out of the 8, which in this case would be $680. On your 11th sale, you get another promotion automatically. No politics, no bullshit. You do the sales, you get the promotion. Simple as that. 3A, 3 points. 3A just stands for 3-point associate. So that's why it's abbreviated. On your 11th, you're already making $1,000 for a single K8 sale. On your 21st sale, 1360, 51st sale, 1700, over 101 sales, 2040. Now, here's what's so cool about this. You technically only need to do the sales yourself on the promotional sale. So in this example, you've only placed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sales yourself to get those promotions. And the gray dots that you see underneath are people making sales in their own businesses just like you. And you get the override commission. So as a team effort with a sales organization, you could advance to something like a 6A rank by putting in anywhere from 5 to 15 direct sales, and the remaining sales out of the 100 came from your group. That's actually very common that you're not placing that crazy amount of direct sales in a lot of cases. But here's the part that's really exciting when I mentioned high ticket commissions in depth, is that those gray dots that you see straight down on the 1A all represent a check that you would receive for $340. Okay? So you're not doing any of this, and you're getting a check for $340, $340, $340, $340, $340. All of those dots straight down, sale, 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 sale. Okay? Pretty fascinating, right? But look at 2A. You would get $680 on the direct sale that you made with your efforts, your marketing, etc. But then that person goes, I really want to do this too. Like, I want to set my family free as well. I want to go through the training. I want to post ads. I want to do the marketing, etc. They go start making sales. They would receive 340, 340, 340 on their first few sales, and you would get 680, 680, 680. As long as those 8 points are still, it's still within the 8 points, and it's not 9, 10, 11 points, which obviously would break the company. But if it's within the 8 points, you get your commission. The person who makes the sale gets their portion of the 8 points first, and the remaining points go up to the people or person above them until all 8 points were paid out. And you get the amount based on the lane that sale took place. And once again, if this is confusing for you and it's a little bit over your head, it makes way more sense when the money is being deposited into your bank account and then you figure it out after. You're like, wow, that's pretty fascinating. I actually figured out this compensation plan about 10 years ago by being paid first. I would get the check and I go, how did I get $1,000? And then I'd like go reference it with my team. I'd be like, who made a sale, guys? I'd call people. I'm like, did you make a sale? He's like, yeah, I sold it to whatever. I'm like, thanks for the $1,000, man. That's fucking crazy. So I figured out this business after I made the money, not before. So if you don't understand it, don't let that scare you. We'll teach you. You make the money, and trust me, the compensation plan will make a lot of sense when that money is going into your bank account. All right. So after you hit 6A, which is 101 total sales between yourself and your sales organization, you can do it 100% on your own. There are some people that have put in 100 direct sales all by themselves. But the way we've designed the platforms, the trainings, the everything is that it is meant to be like a team effort. Okay. So you can do it either way. But once you do the 6A accomplishment, every other direct sale that you ever make for the rest of your life, you'd get 2,040 on the initial direct sale, and then it goes down in depth from there. And then you start to also make an additional income on the sales that happen below your 8 points, which is a $200 education allowance, which is also really nice as your team gets really large and duplicates and so on. So I want to talk to you about the commissions at each of those levels if you're selling the trifecta, which is the most common way people get started, okay? So these are based on the US dollar compensation plan. But I want you to ask yourself a really important question right now. What amount of money would you need to earn in this type of business with Enagic, working with us, to no longer need your full-time job? How much do you earn right now in your household or individually per month? Is it 5 grand? Is it 10 grand? Is it 15 grand? Is it 20 grand per month? What's the number for you? All right. So the reason why that's powerful is because then you can look at these commissions over here and you can ask yourself, well, how many sales would I need to put in with only my own efforts, not even the team effort, for me to be able to double my income, or potentially if you don't like what you do and you want to have more freedom and walk away from your job, you'd be able to do that. And with these types of commissions, look at this, guys, you literally make $1,300, $1,695, $2,260, $3,390, and these are in US dollars, so it's quite a bit higher in places like Australia, for example. But if you're selling a quad, there's another package that is also very popular where people buy an additional K8 machine. Now, this additional machine could be used for various reasons. You might have multiple kitchens in your home. You might want to give it to your parents who might have some health problems and you want to gift it to them. You might want to use it in a way where you loan it out to people for 30 days. They get to experience the machine, the water in their home, blows their minds. They get amazing results. And then 30 days later, you take the machine back and you say your trial is done. And the close rate on doing that is like 90%. So you could literally sell 12 machines a year, putting this second machine that you purchase in your quad into a different household once per month. And you would literally sell 10 machines a year pretty much very easily, just because the people, you put the machine in their home, they use it for cooking, cleaning, all the things. And then you take it away and they go back to tap water, bottled water, the fridge water, whatever they did before the machine. And they're like, what is this? You know what I mean? Their bowels stop working, their sleep is poor, their energy sucks, all the things. And they're like, yeah, they call you up. They're like, so how do I get one of them? So that's a really powerful strategy that people, see the benefits and the value of just having that extra loaner machine. And so the quad is actually a really powerful strategic tool too. So if we sell a quad, look at the commissions that we receive as you progress through the ranks. All right. So now here's the big golden question. How many of you want to know how you can earn $1 million with sales selling a trifecta? How many of you want to know $1 million? Now, the reason we're talking about million is because inflation, right? We're talking about 100 grand. It's not exciting. 100 grand doesn't get you shit these days. So we're going to talk about $1 million, which is the new 100 grand. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I want to be very, very clear. This is not an income claim. This is not a promise or guarantee that you're going to do this. This is just for illustration purposes only, to get you inspired. Because if I saw this, I didn't see this version of this presentation when I started. But had I seen this back 15 years ago, I wouldn't have waited 5 years to start this business. All right? I'll be completely honest. But I didn't see this. I didn't see the big picture. I didn't quite get it. And so I delayed for 5 years. I used the water every day. I loved it. It changed my life, changed my health. All my stomach issues went away. But I didn't take the business as seriously. So I'm showing this to you to inspire you to take action and let you know that you can do this without building a team. That's the power of this compensation plan. But most likely, you will have a team, a sales team that you build as well. So after you have 40 total product sales, remember a trifecta is 3 products. So this is like 15 people who buy trifectas. It's not a lot of people. After 40 total product sales, we unlock a way for you to earn all 8 points of the commission, which is actually more than the maximum. The maximum the company recommends is 6 points. We'll show you a way to earn all 8 points, okay? So check this out. At this level, a trifecta pays out $4,060 to you in US dollars. So this is closer to 6,000 in like Australia, for example. $1 million divided by 4,060 is only 246 trifecta sales. This does not take into consideration your team sales, your bonuses, your title incentives, or any other additional income Enagic pays. This is strictly based on your personal production alone. So let me ask you, do you think that if you were focused, if you were dedicated, if you took this seriously, you could learn and develop the skill set that we provide for you, that we teach you to eventually make 246 sales, even if it took you a few years, 3 years, 5 years? Would you care? Do you think that you could learn that? If we support you, if we cheer you on, if we give you all the things that you need, right? So let's break this down. Let's say you only wanted 100K. Nothing wrong with that. Check this out. 25 trifecta sales and you make yourself a clean 6 figures, right? Pretty amazing. 62 direct trifecta sales and you make yourself a cool $250,000 bucks. 123 trifectas, it's 500K in your piggy bank. And 246 gives you the clean a milli in your bank account. Pretty amazing if you ask me, right? Now, the chances of this happening with you only doing the work and having no leverage and no team support is slim to none. But hypothetically, as a leader, as a salesperson with a sales background before I did this business, I'm the type of guy who wants to know, what do I got to do? I'm not going to bank on nobody else. I'm not going to sit around and wait for someone else to make me $1 million. I'm going to do the work. I'm going to take action. I'm going to learn. Right? Because that's what I can control. So I wanted to show this to you as an illustration, as an example. If all you did was did the work yourself, if you learned what you needed to learn how to do, this is what it could possibly look like. All right. But if you sold quads, How many of you guys are excited about the quad? You're like, this makes way more sense. I'm going to have an extra machine. I can lend it out. I can give it to my parents. You know, I can travel with it. You can find another reason to have a spare medical device like the K8, right? It's like pretty incredible. You're like, I might as well have two because one is not enough, you know? So this level pays out $6,100 US. Are you freaking kidding me? For most people, this is enough. One quad sale a month is enough to pay their current expenses as it stands today right now. That's pretty cool. And maybe if you like to have a nicer lifestyle, 2 sales a month, you're at the 12K mark, you're probably pretty good. You know, some of you I know said earlier 20K, 30K, fantastic. I'll show you the math right now. 100K is only 16 quad sales. 250K is 41 quad sales. These are all directs, no team, no bonuses, no nothing else. Just your efforts, that's it. 82 quads, 500K, 164 quads, $1 million. Now it's up to you. There are some people that I'm currently speaking to who are influencers, entrepreneurs, marketers, people who have a lot of experience, lots of years of track record. You know what they're talking about? They're like, I can do 164 of these a month. They have the skills, they have the experience, they have the teams, they know how to do the marketing, they know how to do the selling. So that's a higher level, of course, not expecting anybody on this call or majority of you on this call to think this way or to have the access to the knowledge and the skills to do that. But it doesn't matter if you do it in a day, 164 quad sales a day, or if you did it in the next 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years. The point is, this is the numbers, this is the math. Is that pretty exciting or what? Because like, who wants to dink around with these low ticket products, low ticket commissions, bugging friends and family, pissing people off? Who wants to dink around with that in 2023, right? I don't know about you. I don't. You probably don't. So this is the ticket, my friends. This is the legacy business model we promised to show you today. And I hope that we're delivering on that promise. So let's get into some of the thoughts that are probably going through your mind right now, right? You're getting excited. You get the goosebumps. You're all energized. You're having trouble sitting on your seat. You're like, let's go, baby. Let's get started. Let's go. But how? So building an online business has lots of allure, right? It's exciting. You're like, wow, time freedom, location freedom, unlimited income, big houses, fancy cars, dream vacations like Christine Dubai, living it up like a queen, amazing, and Beck too. And so many of you, right? That's just like one example, but we're all doing it. All the leaders are doing stuff like that. But the problem is, most people don't have the experience. You don't have the skills. So they are several steps removed from being able to achieve success online. It feels so close, but you can't quite grab onto it. You know, you're like, sounds so easy, but I need help. I need support. I need training. We got that for you. We help the everyday ordinary person get the training and support they need and the leverage this particular partnership with the Nagic to set themselves free via online education and marketing academies that range in price, but most of them that are available to you are $99 per month. How cool is that, right? You're not left on your own terms. You don't have to go figure it out by yourself. You don't have to have this incredible opportunity in your hands and then go like, so where do I start? Do I go YouTube? Do I go to library? Do I ask my, Uncle Joey? No. We give it to you step-by-step training. It's proven. It's working for so many people. And so as long as you do your part, as long as you do the work, it's just a matter of time before it works for you as well. We truly believe that. Who wants to see why people like Christy and her husband Clint and myself and the top leaders and so many people inside this company are never going to leave? We don't want to go anywhere. There's no reason to leave. It just gets better the better it gets here, right? So this is your opportunity to see the long-term potential of planting your flag, learning this skill, really devoting your time, your energy to doing what we do here as well, to unlocking this life that most people today on this planet would not believe is possible for themselves. That's facts. You tell them about this and they kind of don't really fully get it. And then they're like, I don't know. And then they watch from the sidelines and they fit on the left-hand side of the quadrant and they, have all the doubts and the fears and they don't take action. It's not the right time, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, we're over here doing it and we're sharing it with people who are ready to go. So day one, we all start in the same place. This is so important for you to understand. Every single one of us starts day one with the same products in the same exact place in the compensation plan. Nobody skips anything. Nobody gets a fast track head start. Nobody gets a special backdoor deal. We don't operate like that here. And Mr. Ashir, the CEO of this company, would never allow that. You start at the beginning and you take it as far as you go. Simple as that. So after the first 100 product sales in your organization, you achieve a rank called the 6A, top left corner of this chart. and you get a $3,000 one-time title incentive bonus. Super exciting. It's a big milestone to celebrate. $3,000, right? People are like, woohoo, let's go to Mexico or Hawaii or, you know, celebrate. Amazing. Awesome. Then 2 people in your sales organization, or potentially these secondary accounts, are also belonging to you, which is also quite common in terms of strategy. You get another bonus, $6,000. Then you have 2 people who do that inside your sales organization. It could happen anywhere. It doesn't have to be a direct sale that you made. It could be like 10 levels deep, where someone told someone to someone to someone to someone to someone, and then someone down there just becomes a massive success. You still benefit from that. It just has to be on different lanes, which is really important. It might be a little confusing, but the point that I'm making is that your success isn't directly correlated with the direct sales that you bring in. If it's their people and their people and their marketing efforts, it's fine. You can still actually hit these ranks with that team element of someone you may have never spoken to, never met before. It's really quite fascinating how powerful this business model is. But the orange is what everybody's looking at, right? So you guys are checking out the orange, and it's orange for a reason, because we talked to you guys about a legacy business model. What does that mean with Enagic? Well, at this rank of 682-3, which, you know, varies in timelines. Like some people do that in 3 years, some people do it in 5 years. I'm sure people are going to do it even sooner than that in the future, because we're improving our systems, we're improving our training, we're improving everything. But even if, let's say hypothetically, it took you 5 years to earn a legacy income of $5,000 per month, $60,000 per year, without having to do anything, because you've already earned it, you've already put in the sales, you've already put in the effort, and this is Enagic's way of paying you this like retirement income. And just to put this into perspective for everybody on this call, in order to receive a $5,000 per month like a dividend check from an investment, for example, think about it like this. You would need to have $1 million invested, getting paid 6% per annum, which is very conservative, to get 60 grand per year off the $1 million. So if you don't have a way to save that $1 million in the first place, then how are you ever going to get a $5,000 monthly check month after month after month after month, right? After 2 people in your organization achieve that, you bump up again and you get a $50,000 one-time bonus and $10,000 monthly for life. What? And it's willable to your children through trusts. It's really, really cool. You go from there to 682-5, 15,000 monthly, then 682-6, 682-7, 682-8, which I know sounds like a weird math equation, but it equals money in the bank and it equals legacy. It's all you need to know. And, you know, just to give you an idea, and once again, this is not meant to be an income claim. I'm not meant to brag. I'm not trying to rub this in. I'm just using it as an illustration to inspire you of what's possible after doing this for 10 years. I've been devoted. I've been doing my best to help other people. This hasn't been something that I just didn't give a shit about. Like, you know, I put in the time, the energy, the effort here for a decade. Okay. So some of you are going to get there sooner. Christy's going to get there sooner. Certain people get there quicker because, as she said at the beginning of this call, I kind of went first in this particular way, made a lot of mistakes, lots of trial and error. So I'm just telling you this because I want you to understand what's possible. So my family, all right, between my wife and I and our positions, we have one account right now that's 682-5. We have one account that's 682-4. We have one account that's 688-3. And we have another account that's 682-3. So we have 4 accounts higher than the orange mark there. And the numbers that you see there for the minimum monthly for life, let me tell you, that's based on if your sales are not growing, your team is not really active, there's not much action going on, and it's kind of like the bare minimum, you know. In January, my team had 5,200 sales across the world. The company did 22,000 across the world. So we did, in our organization, the team that you're about to join, we did about 25% of the global sales in my organization, 5,200 sales, okay? So you can imagine with that type of sales volume, we're not getting paid on those 4 accounts that are higher than 682-3. We're not getting paid these numbers. We're getting paid a much bigger number, okay? And that's not to rub it in. Trust me, I'm telling you this because I want this for you, okay? I'm sharing this with you because I want you to have this too. It's so important that you understand that, because I want to tell you the numbers, but sometimes people can take it the wrong way. And my wish for you to be on this presentation, spending 2 hours with me, is for you to go, I can fucking do this. I can learn it. This guy can do it with the glasses and the fancy blue lights over there in Vancouver, Canada. I can fucking do it too. That's what I wish for you. And if you believe that, even if you have a little tiny sliver of like, I think I can, I'm here to tell you, after training thousands of people for the last decade, that yes, you can, because you have everything within yourself to learn this. Okay? It's just showing up day in and day out and chipping away, learning something new, trying something new, moving forward, having a positive attitude, and it's all going to come step by step and fall into place. When I started this business, and you would have told me that I'm going to be at this level in 10 years, I would have laughed in your face. Because here's why. Okay, this is a very important story. I shared this on my podcast, so go listen to my podcast, all the episodes. But I share this on my podcast as well, where when I did door-to-door sales, my boss was 3 years older than me. I'm actually 37 years old. But back then, I think I was like 27, he was 30. He was a millionaire, he had the nice car, he had the fancy suits, he had like the Rolex watches and all this shit. So he had this like material success that I was wanting, right? And I shared it with him this when I was still knocking doors, or I wasn't knocking doors, but I was still doing that as my career. I shared with him this same presentation, not as good as this one. Obviously, I got 10 years experience now, so it's kind of shitty, but I showed him the same numbers, right? And I'm like excited. I wanted him to work with me, be my business partner. I'm like, come on, man, we can rock this. We can do this together. And because he didn't want me to leave, because I was such a valuable asset to him, because I was doing all the work, I was doing all the heavy lifting, he was off enjoying his millionaire lifestyle, and I was doing all the office stuff, the training, blah, blah, blah. He literally looked me dead in the eyes and he says, Balaj, there's 0% chance that you're going to go sell $400,000 worth of these water machines. You simply will not do it. Do you have any idea how hard it is for you to sell one of these things? And I just looked at him and it was like I died. You know what I mean? Because I respected this guy so much. He was like my idol. He was my mentor. He was everything to me in terms of success. And I just looked at him and I lost my breath and I was like, oh. And he completely, almost this close, made me never even try. Okay? 10 years later, $500 million in sales later. Fuck you, bro. That's all I got to say to that guy. As much as I loved him back then, he almost crushed my dreams. Okay? And so I want you to really remember that story. If you go talk to your spouse, or you go talk to your mom and dad, or you go talk to Uncle Lukey, Joey, whatever his name is, and he tries to do the same thing to you, like my mentor told you, and said, makes fun of this, or says it's stupid, or says it's a scam, or doesn't understand it, please, please be very careful to not listen, because they might be robbing you and stealing your dream. Like this close almost happened to me. And I don't know where what my life would be like today. Seriously. My daughter was born a little over 2 years ago, and one of my dreams was to take time off when I started a family. I took 18 months off. My business grew in the middle of a pandemic. My income grew. Everybody's sales grew, not just mine, like the whole entire community. Everybody was winning. Everybody was prospering. No one was forced to take a medical experiment outside of their own will, unless they wanted to on their own terms, but nobody was forced to lose their job on all that shit. Everybody was self-sufficient. Everybody had freedom. Everyone was good inside my community. You know how proud I am of that? Because the world was really messed up there for a while, wasn't it? Right? And a lot of people got coerced, manipulated, lied to do things they didn't want to do. And here, when you work with us, that shit is not okay and it will never happen. All right? So I just want to share that with you because it's really, really important that you guys get the big picture here. All right. So here's the 3 ways that you can get started. You can make money slow. Some of you are okay with making money slow, and there's nothing wrong with making money slow. If you're still making money, awesome. You can get started with just the machine. You get $0 cash back. Your first sale is $340, and your sales to 6A, you need to sell 101 K8 machines. The price to get this machine in US dollars into your life is $5,000. Now, there are some potential financing options available for you through your bank, through credit card companies, depending on where you live. But I can't tell you those specific numbers because there's lots of variables. Your credit score, your income, what country you're in, there's lots of factors. So get back to the person who invited you here today and find out what those options might potentially look like for you. The make money fast option, which is our most popular option that most people get started with, is the trifecta. You all agreed earlier, it's an absolute no-brainer just for the products alone, never mind the income and the business and the opportunity. So this one is a $10,000 US investment for 3 products. You get $440 cash back immediately because you sell yourself 2 of those products in your own compensation plan, which means that your first actual person that you sell as a business partner or using your online marketing or whatever, doesn't matter, just another person who invests and works with you, is going to pay you $1,110 on that first transaction if they buy a trifecta from you, which is pretty freaking cool. So when you calculate how many sales do I need to make to get an ROI on my $10,000 loan or my $10,000 investment is freaking peanuts. Like when you look at a regular traditional business, first of all, they're 50 grand, 100 grand, 200 grand, $1,000,000 to start other types of businesses, opening a restaurant, a franchise, this, that, and other thing. But what's the amount of sales you need to actually get an ROI? And once you receive the ROI, you literally make ROI for the rest of your life. Just imagine what my ROI is on my $10,000 trifecta that I paid for 10 years ago. And I haven't had to pay shit since. As a one-time investment. I buy some filters and stuff. I keep taking the Ukon supplement because I love it, but I don't have to. And my ROI is like a bajillion percent. It's like, I think the only thing that might be a bigger ROI is like Bitcoin from day one to now. But I mean, everything else, I outpaced every other possible asset class in the last 10 years that exists on this planet with this business. That's pretty cool, right? And then the supercharge, this is for the badasses, right? This is for the people who like to go super fast. They like the idea of having a second machine. They like the idea of loaning it out to somebody once a month for 30 days, getting like, you know, anywhere from 8 to 12 sales, pretty much guaranteed a year, all happening behind the scenes while you're doing your online stuff and you're doing whatever. That's a $15,000 investment. You get 2 K8s, 1 in ESPA, 1 Ukon. You get $1,120 back. And your first quad sale you make, your first one, I'm not talking like months into the future where you're like, have this high rank and blah, blah, blah. Your very first quad sale that you make at this level, $3,000. 5 of those suckers got your investment back. Isn't that pretty incredible? Like, I don't know of any business that's this lucrative, has this incredible products, and can really change your life and other people's lives, and also pay this type of commissions. And that's not even talking about the career path and some of the other things we talked about. Like, this really is as good as it gets, guys. I get pitched business opportunities every single day. I've seen every single offer online, from drop shipping to crypto shit to all the things. And crypto itself isn't shit, but the business opportunities that come with it a lot of the time, those specifically I think are shit. And you know, all this kind of thing. I get pitched for this, pitched for that, pitched for that. I'm like, bro, you can't touch this. You can't touch this. I'm sorry. If I sign you up, I make X. You sign me up, I make what? Exactly. Conversation's over. Join my business. That's kind of how that conversation goes when people pitch me. So it's kind of funny. It's great for me, not great for the person who pitches me.
Woo! All right. Who is excited after that speech from Balázs? Oh my God, I'm gonna share my screen again and just finish this up. Just to add on that amazing presentation he did. I've been thinking about this a lot and going through these different strategies. And we all who wants to do this business, we want to reach the 682-3 as soon as possible, to reach the legacy income. So to build to 682 is the first step. To have like 4 people who do the same in your team to reach legacy income. Okay, so what we can focus on is really just we start with finding 10 people who wants to sell at least one of these machines under one of your extra accounts, like Ukon, for example, which also ranks up itself. To find at least 2 people or more who wants to go all in. So yeah, as I said, preferably under your second ID until you have 40 units in your team, because then you can rank up your top account
to 4A.
And then get another account and then do it under your third ID.
So this is how you unlock earning all 8 points in a matter of 42 units sold in your team. So that is amazing. That equals a little bit more than 10 quads, for example, like 11 quads sold.
You will be guided all along the way. And even if you don't have like a big social media following, or you don't know really how to start, all of this is taught to you, how you can build from scratch, either in our exclusive groups that are for free in this business, or on the platform that I will show you that we use. So I'm sorry, there's a little bit of Swedish here, my bad. But we have this beautiful educational platform that allows us to really get paid at the same time as you educate yourself. When you upgrade your mindset and learn skills by connecting yourself and others to this platform. And the discovery process, for example, that's where you will start. So maybe you already know what you want to create for yourself, but most of us don't really, or we limit ourselves to the standards of living that we're living today. So get the chance to dive into how life could be if you had no limits or a lot less limitations. What would that be worth for you? You can get into this platform for just $49 for the first month, and for a regular price at $99. But what this allows for you is to really automate your offer. Like, you earn while you live your best life, or when you sleep, or whatever, when you have some time with your friends and family, for example. So they actually do the sales calls for us. So that is like leveraging other people that are with us and assisting us 24/7. You get education on how you launch your business. You learn about marketing and how you get more like hands-off. You get step-by-step 90 days becoming a professional and learn soulful sales. This is just a little bit of all of the amazing things that we do have on this platform. So I highly recommend it. I've been using it for a while, and thanks to this platform, I've been able to travel to, like, I was at Ibiza last year for a week, and I was so busy, like having fun and really just being around the beautiful people that was there on this beautiful event. And I had like 1 hour or 2 that I spent on my business. And thanks to this platform, due to sending it out and connecting others to it, I actually got like a quad sale under that week by doing very little except for just signing the papers, while this beautiful individual had gone through the discovery process and seen this whole thing and really understood the power of this business plan. So yeah, it's just so great. And if I would have done this sales call myself, it would first off taken me a lot more time, but I would probably just get a single unit sale instead of a quad. So highly recommend it. So some final words. First off, I want you to thank yourself for giving yourself the time to look through this presentation. Like, make sure to get back to the person who invited you in or sent you this material to get access to either the platform or to see the best option or strategy for you to start this journey, or to just simply make your purchase straight away. And these models, there are different models. They range from like $3,000 with great payment plans for you, with as little as $1,000. You can start building legacy, even with the K8. So you do need to know that it's easier to sell the same model or strategy that you purchased yourself, and that the commissions is of course lower on a cheaper model, but it can be a great option for you who don't have much, or if you just get creative with how you can get the funds together. Me personally, today I would pay 5K or 10K just for the business side of this. And then it would be like getting the world's best water ionizer for free on top of that. It kind of all depends on how we look at it. Looking back on what it has made for my health only, I'd gladly pay double, to be honest. and also offering something that's actually a necessity for everyone instead of going for something that just a few people want and or need, that truly makes all of the difference in the world. So I just want to say once again, thank you so much for being here with us today. Okay. Share somewhere. Okay, thank you so much. Bye.